studies.
on a certain value. Sometimes it's too dogmatic. So, yeah.
There's problems with technocracies.
So it sounds like Aurora is gonna join us via Zoom.
Did anyone respond to her, telling her? Okay, cool.
I did, but late in the game.
That's cool.
As usual, I said.
While everybody's getting settled, I'm gonna pull up the NBT account so that I'm prepared.
You can dress up just for us to do.
No, I dress up for work like twice a week just to fly under the radar so I can look like a slob the other days. So I mean,
Like averages out.
yeah, it totally does.
It's like you got a bunch of black pixels and white pixels and close enough. It's just great.
Yeah.
I love that.
Hey. Let me know when everybody's ready.
Oh,
Just hanging
whatever.
out.
Hi.
Hello, how is everyone?
Good to hear.
Hanging in there.
So excited to see you in the face. What's up, Jeremy? Things any slower now that
Recent electrolysis face so that I'm
Well,
all
I'm excited.
unshaven and swollen.
I'm excited to be here and not have to leave at 5:55. I'm
Yay!
very excited about that. I feel bad.
it's a new season.
That doesn't mean I won't do it again next month for a lacrosse game, but
That's all right.
I think this seems to be a good time for people, so.
For
Got it.
5/7 of us, yes. Which I think is as good as it's gonna get.
Yeah.
So. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna call us to order at 5:34. It's down as quorum.
Yeah.
Cool. Can we approve the minutes from March? Yeah, just March.
Just March.
Just March. Look at
For
that.
the first.
Make a motion to approve the minutes. They look great.
I'll make a second. All in favor? I have to do it. Oh. Oh God, and of course, did I ask anybody about Q4 funds? I did not.
I keep forgetting to check the post office box.
I was really good at it for a couple weeks, and then I went out of town last week, so I haven't checked it yet. But I will check it next. Operations account has 15,284.08. And our grants account has 8,552.97. I believe I emailed the chamber, but I will circle back because I don't recall seeing a response. Also, I know that
Christine may have had her baby.
she is with, yeah, the expulsion may have occurred, so she may be out of pocket. So I will circle back to them on that. I don't think we have any new deposits.
Okay.
And we do have to approve Charlotte's
Not again.
March invoice in the
Every meeting I
amount.
have a new invoice. What can I say?
It's good timing, $601.25.
This invoice 007 by chance?
Yes.
Perfect. I'll approve. I'll move to approve.
I'll second. All in favor? Cool. Okay. I didn't want to pre-write it in case someone wanted to contest. Not that I thought that we would. But we just saw what happens when you have presumption of confirmation, so I didn't want to. Congressional joke.
Thank you.
January, February, March.
I could really use that money.
Those are all signed up.
They're
I
already
sent-
signed.
$10,000 to Brazil yesterday, so.
Oh dear.
Like you do.
Through a PayPal account or what?
No, they also, well, they actually they have an American, so I technically sent it to New York City, but we'll go from there to Brazil after.
I went from like, I don't know, Malaysia to Brazil, you should be worried.
Yeah, no,
Bulgarian.
this is my second payment there and it worked the first time, so. Only one more left, it's fine.
Casual. Only one more.
Can we vote on policy adoptions tonight?
No, but I've actually made some progress on this. There's also, the other one that's required is a disposition of property policy.
Yeah. Even
So,
though we don't have any property.
yeah, but it's easy enough just to get one adopted, so
Sure.
I mean, we could adopt the mission statement. I found that.
Cool.
That's how on the village website. So there was a document there. I think I put it into our drive.
Oh,
Cause it was like a document on the village site somewhere.
well, yes, and didn't we vote to change something last year? I don't know, but let's do the village website.
I don't know if we changed it, but we can certainly do that just because then the box is checked.
Yes.
In the meantime, I did create the procurement policy and the disposition of property policy, but need to go through and change stuff for relevance to us, especially with the procurement policy, and I might come back with, I'm not ready to ask them all today, but questions. I guess it's not, I can do it right now. The real question is, we have, right now, we have the chair. You are the one making payments and stuff.
Yes.
And then the board is approving
Yes.
everything,
Yes.
pretty much, right? Do we like it that way? Because the purchasing policy is the place to institutionalize that.
I think it works for now. I mean, Steph comes and finds me at the hospital once in a while and we double sign checks and it seems to work unless there's a best practice that says we shouldn't be doing it that way. But
I'm better at bringing the checks to these so that we can do them here.
Does it slow us down? Are we paying you in a timely manner? I just worry about that. those kinds of
I would
things.
appreciate a more timely manner.
Okay.
Things are, I mean, I have not worked for more than half of this year so far,
Mm-hmm.
and I am currently trying to,
Yeah.
I have a $25,000 expense over my head at the moment, so.
Yeah.
I currently have $2,000 in my bank account. It'd be helpful to have my money a little sooner than 3 months later.
I just worry about, because I know a few times in 2024, we've just been like, yeah, go ahead, pay it, we'll approve it later.
Yeah.
And I don't, if we set in stone that, oh, we have to approve before we pay, I just worry about freedom to do those kind of.
Yeah, a little bit of
things, or pay
flexibility,
Charlotte in a
yeah.
timely manner.
Well, here's one way we could address it. We could have a pretty low threshold, say like $1,000. That could be, it could be approved by the chair and the treasurer or whatever, because then we still get two signatures for things that are a certain amount or less and which have previously been approved, like a contract.
Yeah.
Right,
so
so,
like a pay schedule,
yeah,
not to exceed, just approve it all at once and then.
because we approved his contract for a total amount. And if you have a certain amount in the procurement policy that says the chair or the treasurer could authorize payments unilaterally under that amount, as long as it's already an approved expense, I could write it up that way.
Cause honestly, the only time I'm writing a check that has a comma in it is when we're paying the audit. Or if we're like.
I mean, I think one or
Just
two of
everything
my,
has to-
like November, I think was over $1,000, I believe. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, November, December.
But if we're comfortable with finding a way to make that a little bit easier, that would certainly be a way to do it. And sounds like everyone thinks that is. So I'll try to write up the procurement policy in a way that does that. But still with the right internal controls. We probably need an internal controls policy, but we'll get to that later.
I feel like even if we don't have a board meeting happening, like if there's an expense coming up, I've definitely emailed and been like, this is happening, we'll vote on it next time, and then we're good about that, so.
Yeah.
But for all these, like you said, most of these things are so small. Let's just build that in
Yeah.
to something that, because if we still do two checks or two signatures on the check,
Yeah,
there's there's
that's a bank,
checks and balances on it.
yeah, the bank requirement.
Literally, there.
And yes, and if it's budgeted, right, like that's the other part of it, is it something do we have the budget for it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll have that ready for next time.
And I'm sorry it took me so long to get through those checks. I was like trying to remember what happened and I was like between your travel, my travel, and yeah, so. But I think if you're sending us the invoice on the 1st, which I think is when you usually send it, or even like.
To the third, it's beginning. of the month, I'm pretty good
We're
about
fine,
that.
yeah, and then because we're meeting now second Tuesday, it's shorter that way, so as long as both of us are here, it's quick, but yeah. So I'm sorry about that.
All right, so we want to adopt the mission statement at least,
Yeah.
just make sure. I did put it in the folder.
Oh, I stopped looking.
Governance?
On the website, it says, since 2014, the SLLDC is a nonprofit made up of local residents dedicated to improving and maintaining the place we call home.
Full stop.
That is what it says.
That's,
I feel like we have something different
That was-
elsewhere.
That's just what I put there.
no, the actual one, I feel like it had the word industrial in it. We're like,
Yes.
that's weird because we don't
Yes.
have
Yeah.
industry in Saranac,
Yeah.
like heavy industry.
The mission, here's one from the.
I mean,
village
now
website.
we can.
Yeah, right here.
To improve. Oh, no, I think this is the one that we got rid of. I think this feels like the one that we voted on. I feel like we got rid of it. Okay. Do you have it, Jeremy? Do you want me to read it?
Go ahead.
This is what I found through the village website. The mission of the Saranac Lake Local Development Corporation is to improve the quality of life of village residents and visitors through creation and retention of jobs and through the development of projects that provide community or economic development benefits. That feels like.
That
the one
sounds
without
correct.
The industry on it.
That sounds great.
I forgot about the industry. It's like, what?
So I'll make a motion to approve the mission statement.
1 second. All in favor? Oh, that's my job. God, sorry, guys. Thanks. Jesus. Okay. Okay, we have a mission statement and procurement and disposition policies next week. Check in with Charlotte. Fix our upper fund updates.
Well, so I asked, they've not called me back yet, but I went to Coakley's to talk to them about this. And my plan was tomorrow to go to a few banks to ask them about it. I wanted to do it tomorrow, so I wanted to talk today about like what we can offer them, and like why would they give us money, right? Meanwhile, with the covered bike parking, we can just put the sponsors on a plaque on the thing. That's really easy. The fixture up in front, it's more difficult. But I did ask, I did talk to Coakley's, they said they call me back. And I did get a woman who called me yesterday asking me about it, and it seems like she's got an application that sounds really good and promising and like is exactly in what we can afford. It's 3 property owners, each of them around $3,000 or $4,000. So,
What neighborhood?
Park Ave.
Nice.
So,
I saw her, she posted in the Park Ave, either on the Neighbor Helping Neighbor or in like the Park Ave group,
yeah,
so.
yeah, so that's exciting. I look forward to that. She's also excited for it. Covered bike parking, I saw your email. I didn't like read it. I just like kind of saw the
Yesterday's or today's?
today's.
Okay.
So it sounds like you can get $500
I can
from.
get $500. Yep, it was a funny conversation because they were like, wait, you're on the LDC, but you're asking for money. Did you ask the LDC? No. Yeah, basically. And it was fine. It was like $500, not a big deal.
Cool.
So we're in for that. And you know, if it turns out that we can't find anybody else, then you could always ask for more, but 500 is what I got right now.
Great, awesome. I sent out an application to Stewart's. I asked them for the full remaining 6,000. We'll see what they say. I'm not sure if they would be like, oh, we can give you half, or if they would just say no. I have no idea. But I asked them. I reached out to a bunch of local businesses. I reached out. I went to Hotel Saranac and asked them. They told me to send them an email with the information. I went to Silver Birch. Justin seemed interested in giving us some money. And I emailed Doug Haney. I emailed Arda. Maybe someone else. Oh, and I emailed Rich Shapiro with Good to Go.
Mm.
So
Cool.
that's that.
Awesome.
Yep. And then I finally got some architectural drawings from the village, finally. So I need to move forward with the architects on that. Those are kind of the 2 main things I'm working on right now at the moment.
I did circle back with Kirk just now about getting scheduled with him because we were both travel last week. So to talk to him about a whole bunch of stuff, but also that they're doing the mural on the side of bathrooms, which will now would eventually be under
A
our
roof.
parking. And so, yeah, definitely
Cool.
take that into account. And then when we talk to the architects about lighting, maybe we can do something that like will highlight that and also provide light for the space.
And did we envision sloping the roof? That was in my yesterday email, the roof the same way, so we didn't have like competing.
That was my thought. It's
Okay.
like basically copying the roof. Yeah, that was my thought. I mean, I really want to defer what the architects think, but I'd
Yeah.
imagine they'd agree.
Yep. Excellent.
So I think that's pretty much everything I got.
Moving right along. Cool. Thank you. For the Fixer Upper Fund, for like motivation to get the banks and people to donate, I would think that like we will put your name on the website as part of like the application package, so everybody knows that some of the money is coming from them. And then I guess like when we talk about the results of the program, like briefing to the village and like following up stories in the enterprise, like making sure that we will call them out there. I don't know if there's any other like highly creative idea.
I mean, like, I think you were mentioning that we could, for any projects that are ongoing, a little lawn sign, we can
Yeah.
have their name on it. We can
Yeah.
Like this project partially paid for by Saranac Local Development Corporation,
Oh, yeah,
and then just put like the logos of anyone who give us money.
we can do that.
The requirement for receiving the grant is that you have to put a sign that we give them in their yard for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, while the project's going on.
Like New York State's huge billboards at construction sites, right?
It costs more than the project itself, but everybody will know that it's SLLDC.
Can we insist all of our names are listed on
Yes.
this?
Yep, absolutely.
Not in perpetuity, like the Elks Ball Field. Like, yeah,
Only for 5 years.
cool, okay. I like it. I'm gonna price some yard signs.
$5 each.
Well, so
By volume though.
So. In the fixer upper fund and the bike parking are really different projects
Yes.
that might attract different types of people. So I don't know the best way to do this, but I feel like we should have a one pager that you can, when you're reaching out to people or any of us for that matter, we can just leave it for them to consider that describes what it is and the benefits.
What is it? I'm sorry, can you?
The benefits of what the project is, like the fixer upper fund is this. And it's a pitch. I mean, it's a pitch. I don't know what you call it. And then the benefits to donating are this.
Like a rack card?
Wouldn't want to spend money on a rat card, but like could be a full piece of paper, half piece of paper, or it could also be emailed. So when you, let's say you go to Coakley's and the manager's not there, you're not just leaving your phone number and a little piece of paper, you're actually handing the details to the employee who then all they have to do is hand it to the manager, and the manager's like, I see, okay, they've got this project. This is what we get out of it. Here's the contact info. It could be emailed or printed in. I guess
I see your vision.
what the question would be is, should we have one for the bike park? Like we could almost like replicate it for each project
Yeah.
and make one for the bike parking and one for the fixer upper fund. And then the next thing comes along, we just copy and paste, but then
Yes.
make it for it could be a mural or somebody that shows up with a mural project that we want to support.
So people get used to seeing us asking them for money in the same
Yes.
manner.
Format,
every time,
yes.
right? Yeah.
And I don't know what, like, the hospital is easy, but like, at least if it wasn't, we'd be able to give you something and then
Which I ask for all the time. People are
goes
like,
with
can
the
we have money?
documentation.
It's like, send me something. It's just easier that way to send it up through the hierarchy. Yep.
That way you don't have to re-explain it in an email, you just attach it and it goes up the chain of
I
command.
basically already wrote one for the bike parking. I shot out a chain and it was exactly that.
Yeah,
So I basically have that for the bike parking.
well, I'll start with that then, if you have, mostly have it written and then,
If you want to throw it on letterhead and then you and I can refine it on Thursday.
find some nice graphics and look at some way to make it like stand out. I'm not super artistic, but
No, the two bike pictures that you sent Charlotte for the bike
Yeah.
parking were really helpful to see, here's
Here's where.
something else, here's exactly where it would go. It
yeah.
put a lot more meat on it.
Cool.
And I think it can also help. We don't have to get this sophisticated at this point, but it can also help if there's like a couple tiers of donations, so
Nice.
250 and there's one that's 1,000. And you just have to describe what you get for each one. That's what I sent. That's a long-winded version of what I sent in the Discord question, once I re-downloaded the app, because it hadn't used it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone has any ideas for tiers of donations ideas, let me know. Because
It can always be a long-term.
Yeah.
A longer term question for larger, yeah. Cause like, if someone came to us right now and was like, we'll give you the whole $6,000, I'd be like, you can name the thing, like.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, pick the color you want it painted, I don't know, so.
And that was kind of how I approached it for this one, was like, what's the total project cost? $6,000. Okay, like you should be able to find, I mean, no pressure, but like 5 other donations at the same level as mine.
That's what I'm kind of looking, hopefully to
It
do.
was $20,000, it'd been a different conversation, but for a
Yeah.
$6,000 project.
Yeah. So. Cool.
Okay. All right, any other concerns or thoughts or project ideas?
Nope, I'm excited for Adam Bailey to get back into the thing so we can get started on
Sandpit.
Sanfit's, and I know there's some other small stuff. Now that summer's coming along, I might start looking at like the Nori's fridge thing.
Old business. Live sent us an update on some cups that she found. She said that they were made of 50% wheat.
Yes.
They, oh, I wonder if that's a problem. Yeah, because I think the idea is to get away from plastic or to make it
Right.
compostable.
So I ran into Blythe at the anyway, her son was at a birthday party and I happened to also be at Romano's doing something else. So chatted with Blythe, and she also, I know Charlotte had previously expressed that like it doesn't really make sense for us to buy more plastic. It's just when we're trying to cut down on waste. So like that didn't really make sense. And I'm bastardizing what you said, but that was like general gist. And Blythe also separately came to that conclusion as well. She was like, I would really love them for them to be compostable. And I said, yes, that was also. So I think that's where the wheat of it is coming from. So if it could be compostable or recyclable or like not plastic.
And I think we're gonna have a larger conversation with her about
Yeah.
steps.
Right.
Yeah.
Cause I was also talking to her about two things, cause she found, I forget who she was talking with. She told me she had a phone call with someone. But I don't think she mentioned that here. She has another phone call scheduled with somebody else.
Okay.
Um.
Yeah.
Anyway, I haven't actually read that email, but she has a phone call. She was like, she was excited because she had a phone call with somebody else, not the original people. And I said, oh, okay, cool. Cause we were also talking about if somebody doesn't want to help us, we could probably just glean whatever information we could and develop our own program, which would be harder, but like we could do it. So that's kind of, I think that's where
This is for the steps up to the library.
this is for the reusable to-go cups.
Oh, we're still
To
like.
try and have like a sustained source of operating revenue.
No, I just heard the word steps and I thought we had jumped.
I
Some talk of like.
will talk about a library path.
Has to go from
I don't remember where we left that, but yes, okay, cool.
Yeah, so that was just a conversation I had with her, was like, cool, you have a conversation, like have the conversation, but she didn't mention it. Let us know what you learned from that, but also if people aren't interested, like, do you think it would take more work, but we would have to figure it out. I don't think it's impossible for us to do this on our own.
Yeah.
Looking at other examples, but maybe people disagree, I don't know. But she was also very excited to talk about it, so. And then she went to her son's birthday party. Although I'm not sure if it was her birthday party. I still don't know whose birthday party it was.
Cool, okay.
I just want to go back really quick to covered bike parking. Are we cool with the sponsorship for that just being their name on a plaque in order if we give the most, we get the least?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Even already have a connection for where we'll get the plaques. Okay. Okay, flower pots. I don't know if we even left those. I think we were gonna talk to the village and see if the village would put them up.
For the bridge, at the bridge?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never reached out
It's
to
look
them.
nice over there now, with the walk done. Yes, okay, but,
I'll like really put that on my to-do list for real this
that's
time.
fine.
Sorry.
Cool, no worries, that's good. I have one old business that's not on there. We had talked about compost before and.
Sorry. Oh, let's do it. Remind me, are we paying for the pots? Do we have them already?
We will pay for the pots. We just want to know if they would be willing to install some of them, or all of them, rather.
And that's that's because of insurance
Okay.
with the permit from DOT.
Huh? 10 feet, 20 feet from the center line? Is that, yeah, that's the,
Are we just putting it on the bridge or are we putting it like along the railing along the river walk?
on the railing on the bridge.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
If they're willing to do it, and I don't mind doing it. We'll go around to River Trail and Norris, Grand Union, Champlain National Bank and Adirondack Bank and get them to sponsor it.
Cool. I mean, I can definitely ask River Trail.
Well, you can ask River Trail.
Are you still working there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back. Well, this is the only job I've done for the last 2.5 weeks, but I'm back there Thursday,
Oh, cool.
so.
And we had talked about compost before, and I didn't know if maybe I'm just the last one to hear, but Blue Line is not gonna be Blue Line anymore. They're having, it sounds like they're having Compost for Good take over their operations. I just thought that was a point of interest because they're a good, decent, I don't know, decent sized business. I think they're pretty dispersed across town, and so on the radar. New business. I don't know whose ACAB recap that's supposed to be.
That's supposed to be me.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I ended up going, I put it in Discord, but just to reiterate, I put it so I didn't forget. So I went to ACAB for Porch Fest.
Yes.
And the man's name is Jeffrey. So he is currently targeting a Porch Fest date of August 2nd, but that is also the day that there's an EDM event. I think it's just been, there's some kind of EDM event going on at Dewey. So it could either be combined or separate.
EDM, like,
Mhm.
electronic dancing, okay. I didn't know how else to put it.
Electronic dance music.
Yes, okay.
No idea.
A rave, Jeremy.
Well, it's a family-friendly rave.
I mean, is that
I'm
Dewey?
so confused by that.
I don't
It's
know.
hilarious.
I don't know.
Exciting.
So maybe it won't be August 2nd. Jeffrey hadn't heard about that event, so whatever. Seems easy enough to me to tie into, but also you can have a separate event, so it's fine. He is currently thinking that it is going to be all volunteers, and he didn't mention anything about needing money to do so. And he does want to put together an interactive map, and there were a couple people there who were willing to, they were volunteering their own porches, so that was cool. Basically everyone seemed in favor of it, and then I jotted down his contact info that he shared with ACAB, so if we reach out to him, maybe.
I reached out to him.
Okay,
We swapped phone numbers,
great.
and I guess I need to call him, I guess. So he didn't.
I
I
had
asked him how the meeting went. I knew
Yeah.
he was going to the meeting, but hadn't heard back.
positive feedback. I mean, ACAB seemed really into it. And then I had also wondered, and I didn't write this down, but I had wondered if there would need to be porta potties. I know they were like, no, we don't need any funds, but you're encouraging people to walk around neighborhoods that maybe are not their own.
Yeah.
So, and then I think another question had been, does there need to be insurance? Yes or no? I don't remember how that went. But overall, positive support for that. So hopefully that is keeping him going. And then I also, interjected into the meeting. I didn't mean to, but Kirk brought up couldn't remember your name, and I was
That's
like, it's Steph. So then kind of that opened up the opportunity to kind of introduce ourselves to the LDC or to ACAB a little bit, because they were talking about how it's really hard for them to come up. They can advise, but they can't actually do anything, and they rely on the village. And I said, well,
Hello.
enter us. So that was good to have done. I'd like to go to another meeting someplace else.
Ambassador Jess.
Do that same thing. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're gonna nominate you and then pull your nomination at the last minute.
Just pull it 3 months later when all of the leadership positions are filled. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. That sounds like a plan. And then, oh, there was one other thing. Oh, I thought we were working to get Echo funds.
Yes.
But Echo, when I brought that up, Echo was like, no, I decided not to do that. So perhaps someone should check in.
Yeah, I will do that because I haven't heard back from Fred. Maybe that was a different thing. But we definitely applied for retroactive funding of his Carnival of Light.
I mean, that's what I thought as well.
Yes. It went in. I wonder if Fred got in touch with him and Echo turned it down. I don't know. So
Oh,
I hope not. I
yeah.
don't know why he would turn down money.
Yeah.
It was supposed to come to us and then we were gonna give it to him, but okay. I'll check. Cool. Thank you so much for going to that.
Yeah, that was actually really fun. It was nice to hear everything that they were working on. I don't know how to do that for other advisory boards.
Cause
Like, if I can tackle one a
forget.
month,
Yeah.
I'll do what I can.
I mean, I could definitely be the PTAB person.
Yeah.
I was chair of PTAB.
Oh, you're not anymore?
No, I don't have the bandwidth for anything anymore.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, arts and culture. Downtown, PTAB. We have a lot of committees now. Okay, tree committee. Okay. I think if we're linked with arts and culture and PTAB, I think that that is like a good
A good starting.
point. And then
Okay.
I will also try to figure out, is the downtown advisory board just?
I could talk with Jake.
Just what?
Okay, no, it was just because it had a little pop-out menu that said music on the green, and I was like, is that just Katrina? Also in the, but it's not, it's other people. Okay. Yes, that's a lot of real estate people. Cool. If you're willing to take ACAB and you're willing to cover PTAB, then I will cover downtown, if that sounds okay.
So what am I doing exactly?
Just letting us know what goes on at their meetings, if you can get, if you know when the meetings are, if you can. Yeah. What their projects are, what they're looking for help with. Cool. Okay. Backing small businesses enhancement grant?
Yes, that Jeremy forwarded that in the email form, and I didn't know if we needed to talk about it, so I put it on.
I don't even remember.
Jeremy?
Oh
Oh yeah, this was in January and I stumbled upon it. Backing small businesses.
American Express.
Yep, presented by American Express. 25 small business owners awarded 25,000 enhancement grants through Backing Small Businesses Grant Program. This is from January. And I found it while trying to look for this T-Mobile thing.
Oh, I guess so we probably want to just put it on the calendar to track when the thing opens again.
Other backing small programs include backing historic small restaurants. Okay, great.
Cool, okay. T-Mobile hometown grant?
Also came to us through Jeremy
Okay.
on 4/1. But I don't know if you all talked about it offline.
Nope.
This program is worth
I think-
applying for.
We're mostly building a repository of grants and then like,
Yes,
Yeah.
this one's actually open. I think they do it quarterly
oh, okay.
and it's $50,000. Up to $50,000. So the fact that they do it, I mean, I'm sure, because it's nationwide, I'm sure they get a ton of requests, but the fact that they do it quarterly. I think it's quarterly.
I mean, I feel like the
Like-
last closing for this was in like January, so. Maybe
For
it's,
T-Mobile?
Maybe it's biannually.
yeah,
This is open to June.
yeah, that's probably twice a year then.
Yeah.
I think the last one was open until January.
So I don't know, I think. I don't have an idea for it. I just feel like it's one that we
Okay.
should. Find a project that it seems to work for.
Yeah.
Could we apply for FUF for it now and then,
I don't think FUF would be
no?
competitive for
Oh, I
this.
thought you said fluff, like.
Sorry.
Fluff.
They say, I mean, they want detailed budgets sent to them, timelines, and they want shovel-ready projects, so.
I wonder if we should think about like a bigger white whale project that we don't have the money to do, that we could just put in for these things, like that we don't need to do, don't even. You know, just something larger for these larger asks. I feel like if we got $50,000, we wouldn't know what to do with it right now.
I could come up with something to do with 50,000.
$50,000 would help with your incubator idea.
Yes.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that could be that could be competitive for this for sure, I think,
Okay.
actually.
Yeah.
Want to talk about that?
Yeah, let's do that. Cool. Thursday,
Yes.
incubator.
I know that the village themselves is also aware of this. I'm pretty sure Bailey applied to a T-Mobile grant
Yeah.
in January for something. I don't remember what. I need to meet with Katrina again. It's been forever since I met with Katrina.
Yeah, it would be cool if we knew what they were applying for so that we're not muddying the waters on
Yeah,
them.
that was the purpose of my last meeting with them
Cool.
in December.
Yeah.
And it was super helpful and I should do it again. So I'll make another meeting with them.
Cool. Any other
Physical placemaking project. That's what they want.
placemaking? You make some places.
Lots of places.
Even if it's not.
Street trees.
What'd you say? Street tree?
Street trees. Great placemaking. Okay.
Even if it's not the old tops, post office pharmacy.
Yeah.
I told Charlotte I wanted to turn it into like one of those like old fashioned soda
Fountains.
fountain, yeah.
Oh, like the all whites person soda jerk behind the counter, make
Yeah.
them like floats.
But like you have enough local producers in the region who make like syrups and stuff that it could be like not just your standard, you could have like
On
it's
the
birch syrup or it's
soda.
there's people making shrubs around, stuff like that. So
Yeah,
mhm.
chaga soda.
I'm obsessed with this idea. I love it. You brought it up to me last time you did coke. Oh my god. I need this in my life.
That and a churro window, but
Mm,
cool. Okay. Any other new business?
no, but library. Library steps. Turns out, which is my own ignorance for not asking or understanding, where they want said steps does not belong
To the
to the
library.
library, which I didn't realize.
So they'd need a variance for who owns it.
I think the village.
Well, this is down to the parking lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the village.
Okay.
and then in the library board meeting, that came back to, well, it's not really a priority, like the village
Not a priority.
has other things to do. And I said, yeah, agreed, but maybe we don't. So I said I would come back to you guys and see. So that's another larger project. I don't know what else to do with it for now.
So they would need a variance, right?
Mhm.
Somebody walk me through steps. Variance and then grading some sort of design process.
The other challenge there, I don't know if we talked about it before or not, but when we were looking at where to put the bathroom in there, it's
Yeah.
the DPW pushes all that snow up against the wall,
Mhm.
so I think, based on
Oh.
what I think of that parking lot, the snow would probably block the stairs half the year unless we found a different way for
Mhm.
them to clear the snow.
Seems like that's a high enough differential that you'd have a pretty long stairway. No one's priced this out, have they?
They know that they don't have the capital funds for it, and I said, well,
So, and like you said, the village has a gazillion other priorities, but that's the kind of thing that if we can help with as an intermediary might be good, because, I mean, you don't really need a variance.
It's not
Just-
an entire emergency services building. So,
It's just.
yeah, it would be like, hey, yeah,
It needs to
do good
know
things.
what- Yeah, what it actually takes and how much it's gonna cost, and then you go to Upstone, say we need some concrete.
yeah,
Will you donate some concrete, and we will put a sign on the side of it? And if the village would be willing, if the money was found, maybe the village would be willing to do it.
but is it
Just don't have the time
possible
to do
to?
it,
No.
to do all the prep work? I'm not sure.
To not have them do it or to,
Yeah, like if, like DPW, you presumably would do the actual labor, right?
yeah, I'm not clear.
But can we?
I guess I need to like go to somebody at the village and be like, hey, what are the odds? Because I know we did this in St. Armand, but I don't know what you guys' proclivities are. Right. So I guess, like, do I go talk to Bachana about that? Is that a
Well,
Bachana
I
conversation?
mean, to some extent, I feel like to some extent, the library should have that conversation.
Sure, okay.
I
And
can
then-
push them to do that
And
in
then if
May.
if the two parties are like, that's fine, but none of us have the money or time to actually
Materials.
make it happen. Then that would be like, okay, great, that's where the LDC could come in.
Yeah.
And do
Okay.
that part of it, as long as both parties are in agreement with the concept.
Yep, okay, okay.
That way you're not in the middle of the battle and whether or not like
Yeah.
the snow is gonna be in the way, like they could figure out all that stuff as
I
two
think
parties.
for my own edification, I would love to know like what is the process for, or what is the availability of us like getting DPW to do work as in kind from the village, but I also don't know if they have the bandwidth to have that conversation right now. It seems like there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
But there's probably not a lot.
Bill is trustee, but he doesn't have a good answer for that.
No, that's fair.
That's a good question.
I mean, I think not as a criticism, just in general, from what I've seen on the board, and you've been there a lot longer than me, Jeremy, in the loop, is just that if you present them with a solution, that's a lot easier than saying, can we talk about this idea that we have? So if we were able
Okay.
to show them
Right.
what we want to do, and this is how we would do it, then they can say yes or no. Here's
Yeah.
when we think we could help versus,
Okay.
you know, can you help us figure this out?
Yeah.
It's like, we're interested in using your resources
Right.
to make this better for you. Okay. Yeah, if the library will go have that conversation, then yeah.
Okay, so to say it back, I need to encourage the library to go to the village and say, what are the chances we could do this?
Yeah.
We could
A variance.
modify your property.
Yeah, and change how the snow gets.
Yep. And then,
And it's, to Matt's point, it's not going and saying, go do this, fix it, it's a
Right.
problem. We're here to ask if we think that's feasible. If so, then we, the library, will look into it more, which
Yeah.
then that gives us the end, knowing that both parties are open to the idea.
okay,
No commitments, just
Yeah.
get to it, yes.
start asking questions. Okay.
He's like, there's a rare slug that lives right there. That like only somebody in the village knows about. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. Thank you.
Too many windows open. Anybody else? Other new business?
I think I would have Joe, see if Joe Garceau, I'd be happy to ask them if they're up for it. Design it. At like a discount or something. No, they don't have to ask us. I would be happy to do it. If both parties are good with concept,
Yeah.
to have him look at it, figure out how to have him look at it. See what the feasibility is. Sketch out how he thinks he would do it.
Mm-hmm.
Take it back to both parties, especially the village, and say, do you think this would work? And then if that also goes well, then you really have to figure out how to have them finish the design, do a cost estimate. And then we could go, then that would be, you go back to the village and the library and say, here's what the scope is, here's how much it's gonna cost. But if we can come up with the money, we've got a real design to do it. And then that's another opportunity for us to step in and go. Doesn't have to be just the LDC, but go find some donations.
Okay.
It's a really good idea.
Yeah, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
But I hadn't thought about the snow. Even though it's here half the year.
Well, you know, if you had it from, let's say, the center of the parking lot, going up like this, and then over into the driveway or something, you'd lose a parking spot, but maybe on that side, they're plowing up to the stairs, plowing up past the stairs on the left side, and they have to do a little bit of work to try to keep.
Mm.
If it becomes a priority, Dustin is good at figuring out how to make it work.
Okay.
If he has to.
Could the village do it without, it'd be hard to make it ADA, right, with that grade, or is that?
That had been a thought as well.
Yeah, that would be
Pretty
60
steep.
60 feet long. You know, is it like is it 12 inches for every foot or a foot? Is it a 1 to 1? What is it,
I
1
almost wanna
to
say
12?
half.
1 to
But
12
I'd
or
have to
something?
double check. It's been a long time since I looked at something like that. I wanna say it's half an inch per foot, but I don't know. I'm not confident on that. I can double check if you want. I know where to look.
I'd have to go back there. and
I've
look at it
spent way
again
too many
myself, but it
hours
almost
and
have to like switch back, right? You couldn't
I
go
think
straight
you-
from the parking lot up. You'd have to.
and the thing is, I have no idea how big of a jump this actually is. I've never actually been there.
It's gotta be,
8 feet. At least.
But then how does the village just own that random slot of property?
Is it also part of the,
Because it's connected, like,
They own the parking lot too.
Used to be the Pontiac Hotel, right, the theater, and then when it burned down, the village
Right.
owned the lot, and I think maybe the village owns everything right up to the library's line.
Yeah, probably.
so who owns the Tudor style building? Next to the park? That's private property, right?
Mhm.
It's just like weasels in there. Interesting.
Not weasel, it's just like a.
A block?
Like a Tetris block,
Okay.
but 111.
it says work session only. That means I can't just like be like, hey. Listen. No,
For what?
for the downtown advisory board. They're supposed to meet tomorrow morning.
If it's posted, I think you could go to listen, but I don't know if they give you an invitation to.
No, that's fine. Doesn't say where they meet. Do you have a question? Cool. Anybody else? Awesome. Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. All in favor? Yay. Thank you so much.
25.